Hello everyone and welcome to another video with me, Rays, and today we're going to be taking a look at the new FF12 banner here on the JP side and whether or not it is worth your lapis. It should be noted that on the JP side, people actually do have a pretty big option right now. There is the 11 rainbow for 10,000 lapis. Basically, it can be vests are included, you could get anything, you could get nothing good. It also has the reduced summon pool, so your chances of getting something decent off of it, I mean, if you're looking for bang for your buck, this is a lot of bang for your buck. It's, these 11 rainbows are usually a pretty good chance of getting something good, and that's probably what I'm going to do at the end of this video. But in the meantime, we're going to take a look at the new FF12 summon banner, both Ashe and Vossler, and talk about them and whether or not they're worth spending a ton of resources for. So, first of all, before we talk about our main lady and main heroine, we're going to be talking about Vossler. And Vossler, pretty much what he ended up being was exactly what we kind of expected. He is primarily a magic tank and a physical damage dealer. And I gotta say, overall, I'm not overly crazy about that combination, but let's take a look at him. First of all, bolt striking and AR chaining are his main methods of dishing out damage. Vossler's hand, I'm sure I'm not saying that correctly. An accessory is his TMR. It has 27 attack, 24 defense, 32 spirit, with a passive of increasing attack and defense and spirit, 30% for attack, 20% for defense and spirit when equipped with a great sword. Autocast Unexpected Pride at the start of battle or being revived, which mitigates magic damage taken by 10%. Actually, Vossler's TMR is just pretty nice. It's a decently statted accessory with a more defense orientation to it, which is particularly good to throw that on an attacker if you are trying to survive taking a lot of damage. Now, Vossler's Super TMR, Great Sword Nightmare, 171 attack, 41 defense, and 100 spirit. It's two-handed with a max out at 1.6 times variance, and it has 20% spirit and an extra 20% damage versus humans. Again, a more defensive sword for physical attackers that are also looking to survive magic attacks more. This great sword seems pretty great if you have a true dual hand character. Otherwise, So looking at his Vossler's kit, Vossler has a good amount of just... Oop, hold on. I want to go back. Bring Vossler back. Vossler does have a good amount of spirit in his kit. His attack isn't particularly high for being an attacker, but I'm really going to guess that you want to be using this guy primarily as, a tank who can dish out some damage too. He has a way of being provoking the enemy for a total of 4 turns and mitigating the damage taken on himself by 45%. For beating the trial, he also has an auto revive on a 2-turn cooldown, which gives him 50% to the caster and mitigates magic damage taken against humans for 10% for 1 turn to the caster. So he gives himself auto revive, and he has a way of mitigating magic damage from humans. A little specific, but okay. He has ways of increasing his spirit while protecting all allies from magic damage. He can mitigate damage taken 40% for 4 turns to all allies. He has ways of removing status effects from an enemy and decreasing attack and magic 65% for 1 turn. So a bit of a dispel with a short-term break. Not bad. That's actually kind of feels nice. He can add lightning to his own attacks for 4 turns off one of his bolt striking. He can also add darkness to his own, but both of those are bolt striking, so that's who you're going to want to do it with. He has ways of increasing lightning and dark resistance for the party. He has double cast and triple cast in his kit, and he has a bigger magic cover ability in his cooldowns. 5-turn cooldown available turn 1, and it lasts for only 2 turns, so it's a little bit short, but it does come with an 80% magic damage mitigation for 2 turns to all allies, which is pretty darn strong. Other than that, he has a way of decreasing 70% defense to one enemy on one of his cooldowns, while attacking and increasing his own attack by 200%. And he can protect from physical damage as well, with 100% mitigation for 2 turns. I believe. Okay. And he has an AR chaining ability. Overall, Vossler is a lightning and dark themed magic tank that has some physical stuff in his kit too. He is kind of just look like he has stop resistance. He overall, I don't dislike him. He has a really big range of weaponry and equipment that he can choose from, and his limit burst, which is physical damage while increase the chance of being targeted for 4 turns, and increase defense and spirit 180% for 4 turns to all allies, and mitigate damage 50% for 4 turns to all allies. His kit does a lot of stuff. It has Dispel, it has like actual raising defense and spirit of the party off a limit burst. He has and some elemental chaining options too, as well as imbuing some elemental resistance and just doing some mitigation on the entire party. Overall, Vossler ended up being better than I thought he was going to be. And he's also UOC-able on the JP side, which is another big recommendation. So I ended up liking Vossler a lot more than I thought I was going to. I don't think he's going to be a sensational damage dealer, but in terms of a magic tank, yeah, seems particularly totally fine for something that's not a fast. And then we get to our lovely lady Ashe. Now, her TMR is a materia, magic 30%, and then HP and magic gets increased 20% each when either equipped with a dagger or a sword, or 40% with a dagger and a sword. So in other words, you're looking at a possibility of having a overall on a TMR 70% increase to magic with another 40% HP. It's conditional, but it's a particularly strong materia. Like, it is, I really like this materia. It gives mages more HP, but it does require you to have some specific equipment. Speaking of specific equipment, let's talk about Ashe's Super TMR. Now, this is a great, just a sword. It's not a great sword, it's just a sword, but holy cow. 120 attack, 171 magic, 22 spirit, and defense. Passive contract sword. When cast at the start of battle or when being revived, mitigate magic damage taken by 25% for infinity turns to the caster. And it also has a magic damage attack that decreases magic to 1 enemy turn and nullifies the next spell cast for 1 turn. Holy cow, this is super TMR, man. This is a super TMR that I would almost insta-use, just like snap, use that Moogle immediately on it, because it's a really powerful sword. It's got great stats for a magical sword. If I was building Ashe at all, this is the weapon I would definitely want for, and it is a little bit of that Celeste ability. Since I'm not getting a Celeste, I'm going to like Ashe's Super TMR for this. Manufactured Nethicite was a thing that is, and still kind of is, used, so it's pretty cool that it returns, even if it is on a Super TMR. Other than that, her kit is mainly Bolt Striking, Mystic Cross, and AR Chaining. She has a really high magic stat, and overall her passives kind of just allow her to be really flexible. She has extra damage versus avians and aquatic if she gets bonuses, not only for magic, but defense and spirit when equipped with a shield, which is kind of an interesting idea. Just allowing her, like, she feels really flexible in the amount of ways that you can build her and with her equipment, but still keeping her magic and stats really strong. And overall, like, in her kit, she has wind, fire, and lightning based attacks, and that's great. Some of them are Mystic Cross, some of them are Bolt Striking, some of them fill her Limit Burst gauge, which is, you know, going to be really useful. She has double cast, she has triple cast, And she has a few other things that were interesting. Dust Fragment. Mitigate magic damage taken 90% for 1 turn to the caster and nullify next spell for 3 turns. 529 MP. So, okay, she has a high MP cost, but I do believe she has a lot of MP regeneration in her kit, so it's not terribly bad. And she has ways of just mitigating damage. She actually has a way also to, called Mist Decoy, of literally increase the chance of being targeted 100% for 3 turns to 1 ally, mitigate damage taken to that ally for 3 turns. So in other words, she can mitigate that damage 30% to an ally. She can basically make them a target, and that's a really cool ability to have. Is it like a game changer? No, but if you were looking for a way to be a little more flexible and have someone else take the hit, that's a pretty cool little thing. Other than that, she has ways of enabling her triple cast through, you know, all of her different cooldowns, 3-turn cooldowns, available turn 2 that either do fire, wind, or lightning-based magic, and also enable some extra skills to her. And one of her cooldowns, a 4-turn cooldown available turn 1, cure all status ailments to all allies, grant a HP barrier of 5,000 HP for 2 turns to all allies. So she has the option of dishing out magic damage, but also being a really good support unit too. That's pretty cool for a DPS to kind of have that in their kit. Now she just unlocks a ton of abilities with different ways of decreasing elemental resistance for multiple different elements. They are recasting as well. So the first turn they'll be like 110%, and then the following turn they'll be 115%, and then the following turn be 120%, and they also increase modifiers. I really recommend you looking on the Gamepedia, because it's just a mountain of speaking and nobody wants to hear me do that. But she has a lot of unlocks, basically. She also has Raise, she has Re-Raise, she has Thunderjet, and she has a Cure spell, all in her magic part of her kit. And her Limit Burst, maxed out as a decreased lightning resistance 120% for 4 turns to all allies, increase magic 200% for 4 turns to all allies, and lightning magic damage ignoring 50% spirit, while auto-casting a increased Limit Burst gauge to the caster on the following turn. So in other words, it's a Limit Burst gauge that enables a Limit Burst gauge. Actually, I gotta say, I was not overly impressed with the Van banner was fine and everything for what it is. Ashe is like a perfectly competent DPS, but her kit kind of varies into what it can do. She can do a lot of different things. She can do a bit of damage. She has a wide variety of elements, but she has a lot of other stuff she can do in her kit too that ranges from support to actually helping out tanks. So I'll give Ashe and Vossler a really nice thumbs up and recommendation. They're particularly good. With that being said, I'm not pulling on their banner because I want Bahamut Dark Fina. And so I'm going to do this in this video. So enjoy my pain or excitement. But the FF12 banner here looks pretty cool. But Vossler is UOC-able, so you might want to just get that. It's a rainbow! Alright, so pray with me for a Bahamut Fina. I should have said Dark Bahamut Fina. Dark Fina Bahamut. Whatever. Yuna! Okay. Selfie! I got my girl! Yeah, Selfie! You dance, babe. You get excited. I'm excited for it. I told you guys I really needed to specify this, but I'll take her. Yeah, I'll take her. Cypher. Hi, Cypher. Welcome to the party. Oh, duplicate. Not bad. Overall, I got a pretty good amount of stuff there. Missed the... I was close. I was very, 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 very close. So close. Mages hate me. That's not true. I got Selfie, and she's going to be a lot of fun. I'm definitely immediately raising her. Anyway, so thank you very much for watching. Tell me if you're excited about Ashe or Vossler. And for the Woad of people, I am making videos. They will be up, but today was just, I'm just going to have to upload like 20 videos tomorrow. Enjoy! Anyway, take care, you guys. See you next time.